We're on 5 of 6. I'm not going to try to say Patrick's last name because every time I try to do that, I always mess up and I always have to apologize. So this is me preemptively saying, sorry, Patrick, I'm going to mess up your last name no matter what. So,
and we also got Dominick playing, who I didn't see his last name. So you know what? We're going to find out in just a minute.
We're going to be equal and just not say anybody's last name.
It's Patrick and Dominick.
You
there you go. Well, we're going to get started here in just a moment. I don't know what either of them are running. Patrick, I know, at least has run some pretty neat stuff in the past.
Yeah, Patrick's a pretty good player. We played each other at least once back in 18. It was very interesting. I moon blasted his side dragon on the switch in on accident. It was the best. It was an accident.
That's awesome.
Too. Like, so yeah.
Well, Patrick,
Deck and Dewey.
This is going to be interesting. Okay. Patrick's got that Kyogre, Incineroar, Tornadus, Sarina, Xerneas, Toxicroak. We've kind of seen a lot of variations of that style earlier. We also have Dominick now, and his last name's Osler, by the way. Osler?
Who knows? Anyway.
Whatever. It's one of those. But anyway, he's got Decidueye, Garchomp, Tapu Fini, Yveltal, Raichu, and Stakataka. And as someone who loves Decidueye, I'm very happy to see it on stream. But I'm very curious what role it's gonna play on his team.
I haven't seen a Garchomp since 17. So this is going to be really interesting. Cantonian Raichu at least has also been very intriguing because, you know, the last time we saw a lot of really good play from it was not just only last format, but its big kind of shining moment was in 16 as well when Wolf used it to win Worlds. But, like, you kind of haven't really seen it in a format as much with the restrictors going on. The other three Pokemon are pretty standard. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how they interact against this, especially against Patrick's team, who kind of quote-unquote also runs a semi-standard team. You know, you've got sort of that classic combination out of Tornadus and Kyogre, and then Serena for that kind of like extra support, and then Toxicroak just is really nice to get that healing for later on.
Well, let's get started. I'm excited to see what these leads are going to be. We're going to see, first off, Patrick lead with that classic Sarina-Kyogre combo. Dominick going to go with Stakataka Decidueye, and I'm very happy to see Decidueye, so that's always fun. There's that Drizzle from Kyogre, and I believe that'll be the only ability to activate right away.
Yeah.
So it looks like we have two very separate styles. Patrick going for most likely fast, possibly Choice Scarf Kyogre, usually partners with Sarina. Dominick has that Trick Room possibility with Stakataka. Decidueye is quite slow.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, Patrick's lead is really nice because you can't really do anything to stop that Kyogre from going for Water Spout straight off. I mean, despite the fact that Decidueye has that grass typing to kind of help resist part of it, it's not exactly the most bulky Pokemon. Like, the reason you don't really see it on a lot of play is just lacking a lot of stats to kind of make up for the disparity between it and a bunch of restricteds, right? Like, especially with Serena on the field as well, like having a little bit of a better matchup against other Pokemon in this format.
Well, that Stakataka is getting out of there, switching into Tapu Fini, so if Water Spout does come out, both of the Pokemon that Patrick will be targeting are going to resist that Water Spout. Feint onto the Tapu Fini slot, the old Stakataka slot, and we see Origin Pulse, not Water Spout. Could be that he's scared about this Decidueye hit and wants to make sure he gets those high power hits, regardless of what this does. And as we can see, a Leaf Blade from Decidueye gets that Kyogre down to like 2% of health, just about.
Yeah, I mean, so what's nice is that if you are Choice Scarf Kyogre, you know, you've walked us up to Origin Pulse has 2 Water Spout, which is depending on how much HP you have and anything. What's nice here is that Feint was a really kind of just to help say, hey, just in case you're protecting, I'm gonna make sure I can break that and get that attack on there too. So this Tapu Fini didn't come in for you know, no damage at all. Like, both the Pokemon on Dominick's side are gonna be in taking a lot of damage, and sure, Patrick's Kyogre is in the red. The thing about it is, though, it's still a big powerhouse, and it's still going to be able to attack pretty heavily. Like, it did go before the Decidueye, so at least we know it's faster than that alongside it. And I think now it's just a question of, is it a long-range Decidueye, or is it an overgrown Decidueye?
Well, we gotta find that out soon, hopefully. Kyogre swapping out for Toxicroak now. Decidueye going for another Leaf Blade that's targeting the Toxicroak slot. Still does a decent amount, gets it down to around like 55% of health after a crit. We see the Tapu Fini go for the Ice Beam onto Sarina, and Sarina also going to survive with the same amount of health.
I mean,
goes for a Power Whip, but it's going to miss, and the Dry Skin's going to do a lot of health back onto Patrick's Toxicroak there.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of rough. Like, obviously, the Power Whip miss is always really tough to kind of handle, especially because that Serena took that Ice Beam really nicely. Now the thing is, like, Patrick's actually in a pretty nice spot because he can go for Poison Jabs, he can go for attacking moves into both of Dominick's Pokemon. That Serena is still on the field, and despite missing that Power Whip, he can go for it again. It's it's unfortunate, but it's not like it's the end of the world at this moment for Patrick.
We see Stack Attack switch back in, a bit risky. We see a Sucker Punch off of the Toxicroak. That isn't going to pay off. Tapu Fidi's next to use Ice Beam. That is going to get Sarina down to the red, and no berry activation.
It's probably the Soul Vest because of the way it's taking damage.
That's very true. That's actually very true. Power Whip going to go into that Tapu Fini slot, get rid of it for good. And Dominick, I'm not sure on that Stack Attack switch because Toxicroak is a fighting type and could get that 4 times super effective move onto that Stack Attack, so we'll see.
It'll be dependent on what he brings back into the field now.
Yveltal coming out, actually that's maybe what his strategy was, to let Finny go down, have Yveltal come in possibly with an Oblivion Wing and get rid of that Toxicroak before it can do anything.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to try to get rid of the Toxic, then you're at least trying to protect the Stack Attack on this turn. We've already seen Serena have Faint, so Dominick has to have that kind of in the back of his head as Patrick's going for these attacks, right? You're not going to try for another power, probably onto Yveltal, because 1, that resistance, and 2, because of the fact that you're so low on health, I don't think you want to risk missing that power whip at such an opportune time to kind of deal some damage onto both of the Pokemon on Dominick's side. You still have that Kyogre in the back, and the thing is, now that Yveltal's on the field, it's kind of the more terrifying Pokemon here because of the fact that it has Sucker Punch as well.
Well, we see the Oblivion Wing right off the bat. I'm a bit surprised we didn't see the swap from Stack Attack into that Decidueye, since it is Ghost type, it wouldn't take any fighting damage, but that low kick is going to come out, do a lot of damage. There's a knockout. So down to his last few Pokemon, Dominick is getting a bit of into a tough spot here, and we see Fighting Neum Z from the Sarina here. So okay,
that's
so
not really surprising.
It wasn't a Solve Vesta though.
I mean, I know that like there is a couple people who have been running Serena with Fighting MZ, just because it's a really nice check against some of the books that you see around in this format. And I mean, any guaranteed damage for Yveltal is also really nice. I mean, that's a lot of damage to be able to do to that, and you still have the Toxicroak on the field. I mean, the thing now you've got here is actually you can't Sucker Punch. I'm so sorry. You definitely cannot Sucker Punch because Serena's on the field and because of Queenly Majesty. But you can with Toxicroak on Patrick's side of the field. And I think it's really nice to see kind of at least one support Pokemon and one semi-support, semi-attacking Pokemon in terms of Toxicroak be able to deal so much damage and so much pressure onto Dominick's side of the field. Especially like that Yveltal being fastest, it wasn't able to really benefit from the Oblivion Wing with the HP recovery.
Yeah, I think there's the Feint, and that's going to go onto the Yveltal there, so it looks like we're going to see a double target on that. Get some chip damage. See the Sucker Punch. Actually, I lied, not double target. The Sucker Punch to get rid of Decidueye. But Yveltal now down to 70 HP. It can only target one of the two. Both of them are weak to Oblivion Wing, but still Patrick's got 3 Pokemon, and that sort of are going to stay alive at the end of that turn, so...
Yeah, I mean, and even like, I'm actually kind of questioning the target of Toxicroak versus Serena, mostly because with Serena, you get rid of Queenly Majesty, and if you have Sucker Punch, you're able to at least go for Sucker Punches later on, right? Because now Patrick knows that he's okay to attack and not have to really worry about that sort of move there. And we've got the Xerneas on here. I mean, all you have to do is Moonblast that. So you don't even need to set up Geomancy because of the fact that, like, Moonblast Fairy Aura does so much. Plus, that's the first Xerneas I've seen in forever.
I know.
Crackers.
And in addition to the Fairy Aura, Yveltal's only at half health, so no matter what, it's going to come.
I mean, it's nice to know that, like, the Yveltal's faster than your Pokemon. I mean, Legendaries and Restricteds obviously have higher stats, and I think the base speed for both Yveltal and Xerneas are the same. So I think if your Patrick tells you a lot of, like, of how fast Pokemon is, I guess.
Patrick wants to set up that Geomancy anyway.
Alright, I mean, whatever guarantees you the win at this point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think for Patrick, that Serena was definitely kind of that MVP there. Was able to hold on. The first missed power wasn't as punishing as some misses are, but he was able to recover nicely. And the fact that like Queenly Majesty kind of prevents you from ever wanting to kind of flick something like Sucker Punch if you're on Dominick's side, it makes it a little bit easier to have Serena around.
Yeah. At this point, there's nothing nothing Dominick can do to avoid Patrick. With his last 2 there.
Should you click, what? You click Origin Pulse and you don't miss, and then Moonblast, which guarantees, like,
that's
no
it.
Miss.
And Moonblast also, like, you Sucker Punch probably onto the Kyogre, yeah. And that's it. Moonblast is going to finish it off.
Yeah.
So Patrick takes... Oh! That's a Rosalie Berry. Okay, so we haven't seen that. It still knocks out, but still, at least now we know that Dominick has that. That was kind of a plus for Patrick there because he now knows the item.
For anybody who's in chat right now, can you just please indicate if this is your first time ever seeing that Roselli berry? Because that definitely was it's been,
It's been a while. I don't know.
That's my first time ever seeing that berry activate. I know what it is, but it's just like.
Really? I've seen a couple on Battle Spot, but not too many in VGC itself.
Yeah.
It's more of a gimmick than actual strategy, but I guess it could work if you play it right.
I don't know if I agree with letting revealing Sucker Punch at that last second, because we were guessing the entire time if Yveltal had Sucker Punch or not. And that could have been something that would have been fun to fake out Patrick in game 2, because if Patrick was like, oh, he never showed Sucker Punch even after Serena was gone, I definitely don't have to worry about it, right? But now that you know it's there, Serena's even more important because it guarantees that you get attacks out without having to worry about that Sucker Punch.
You know, I'm actually a bit surprised we don't see too many more things on Dominick's side to counter Serena. Garchomp maybe.
Wing.
There's Oblivion Wing, but that's about it. Other than that, Garchomp maybe if it has Fire Fang or Poison Jab, but I don't know. The rest of them really kind of threatened by that.
I mean, especially like now that you know that Serena also has all-out pummeling, that also makes it kind of a difficult Pokemon to kind of like leave around for as long as you did before, right? Because it's kind of the powerhouse on that side of the team, and it lets the restricted setup as they need to. Like that Kyogre didn't really have to do much until like the last turn or two.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that Dominick has to kind of consider when he's playing against Patrick, where it's like Patrick has all the tools necessary to set up if he needs to, and if Dominick can at least chip out one Pokemon on there, then it might put Patrick in a tough position.
We're going to lead Xerneas Toxicroak from Patrick's side, trying to get maybe that boost right off the bat. We see Yveltal and Decidueye coming out from Dominick's side. So, no Kyogre right off the bat, which is a bit interesting, because I thought we would see maybe an attempt for Patrick to start with that, but I don't know. Xerneas is another good one to start off with, though.
I mean, you've got Sucker Punch potential, and you've got Fake Out potential here from that Toxicroak, right? So I think if you want to try to set up your Xerneas, you're gonna fake out that Yveltal and stop that from moving like right now.
Like that. If Decidueye can U-turn out, it not only breaks a possible Focus Sash on Toxicroak. We don't know if it's Assault Vested or Focus Sash at the moment. But it is going to also swap out into something a bit safer.
Stakataka, probably.
If he's carrying Stakataka, yeah. I don't know if and there it is. I was wondering if the all-out pummeling would scare him. That is also a bit of a risky play because of you're going to be able to counter Xerneas, but you also got to get rid of that Toxicroak, and with Xerneas setting up, it's going to be able to remove your Yveltal to the point where you can't knock out that Toxicroak right away. Actually, it most likely is Assault Vest because Oblivion Wing did very little.
So what's really fun about this, what's happening right now, is actually Patrick kind of has free reign of what he wants to do, right? So you Moonblast into the Yveltal spot. You either go for low kick, or you go for, or if you're expecting a switch into the Decidueye, you go for something like Poison Jab. But either way, Dominick's gonna take damage because he has to decide if he tries to take out that Xerneas, he's gonna be taken out by that Toxicroak, right? And I think if you're Patrick, there's no reason to. Oh gosh, what did I?
Ally switch Stakataka. Okay.
Alright, forget everything I just said.
Moonblast, it's going to target the Stack Attack slot. It actually still does a massive amount of damage. But we get the Tailwind from Yveltal, so now Yveltal is going to match that speed of Xerneas with the Geomancy boost. Low kick from Toxicroak, it targets the Yveltal slot. Again, does over 50%. And Stack Attack revealing leftovers.
What year am I living in, Miguel? What is going on?
This is unusual. I love it. This is really fun to watch, actually.
You want to know what I learned today? Stack Attack against Ally Switch.
I never knew that either.
Oh, gosh. I mean, even if you use Ally Switch again, Patrick, all he has to do is do the same thing.
Yeah.
If you don't switch out one of these Pokemon, both of them are going to go down. So, I mean, despite that kind of, like, fun turn for us, whatever happens, Patrick still has the ability to knock out Pokemon on here. Like, Toxicroak isn't going to go down to this.
Although it does help Yveltal. Yveltal might actually survive at the end of things.
A Moonblast?
No, that's true.
Moonblast?
That's true. It didn't Ally Switch. There's a Roselli Berry. Who knows? Probably not though. Yeah.
I mean,
I was expecting Ally Switch too for some. I just thought that was gonna come out.
I mean, even if you Ally Switch, you can't go wrong with doing whatever. Yeah, you can't go wrong with doing the same thing twice because it did over half damage to both Pokemon.
Yeah.
So, regardless, like Patrick had no reason to not do the same thing, even if Dominick had Ally Switched, right?
Yeah.
And like, even if Dominick had Ally Switched and the Roselli Berry wasn't activated, then the Yveltal still would have been knocked out by low kick. Like, or it would have been close, but
Ooh, there's that Garchomp.
which is still gonna go down to a Moonblast.
Yeah. But it's fun to see, at least on stream this year. Or
I was gonna say, did you not watch Pokemon in like 17?
No, it's been a while though.
Like,
So now Dominick does have the Tailwind. That's, I guess, his only advantage.
you Sucker Punch the Decidueye, because
That's true. We saw Toxicroak have Sucker Punch.
yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? Earthquake here with Garchomp?
That's not going to KO Xerneas.
I used to Choice Scarf Earthquake.
I don't know.
I was one of those players, guys.
I remember 17. There was Poison EMZ.
I also used Poison EMZ Garchomp.
I'm wondering if that's what we're gonna see.
I did give Sean Tang a run for his money. I thought that was really funny. The look on his face when I like had Poison EMZ was worth it. 100% worth it.
Well, we see the Toxicroak go down. At least one of Patrick's Pokemon are gonna go down before the end of this match. And Iron Head, so not the Poison EMZ.
Like...
It could flinch. And there it is. There's the flinch.
I mean, what you bring in Kyogre, or you bring in something. What you bring in something like Kyogre, you bring in Serena, and like.
There's Serena.
You still win. You fight Z the Garchomp just for the heck of it to flex really hard, and then you Moonblast the Decidueye. Like I don't know, like you protect. Actually, you know you protect your Xerneas.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it. You protect Xerneas. That's
protect
it.
Dazzling Gleam. It's over.
Like, if you protect Xerneas here and you burn another turn of Trick Room, like, I don't know what else Dominick really has as an option. Because the minute Tailwind expires, Xerneas is just gonna click Moonblast and take care of that that Garchomp. So I don't really know what you kind of do past there.
I'm curious to see what the strategy is though from Dominick. What his plan is. Obviously, you need to get that Xerneas out, but there's really nothing for Decidueye here. I don't know.
Your plan is you wish you had Tailwind on you wish you had Tailwind on a different Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like Breakbird's gonna do a lot, but
on the Serena, is he gonna? I don't know.
I don't think it'll knock out. That Serena was pretty thick.
Yeah. It does KO the Decidueye though, so it kind of reverses it there.
Something did get knocked out. It just wasn't the Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly.
Please fight EMZ.
There it is.
I was waiting for the flex. What is this?
There's the flex.
Thanks for proving me right, Patrick. I appreciate it. Like,
I mean, why not?
I mean, it guarantees a lot of damage on there, and like, there's no reason not to go for the free damage. And you're not gonna go for Power Whip because it's gonna possibly miss. I mean, I think you still get hit by Rough Skin here, but
look at that.
Like,
look at that.
I mean, there's nothing. Yeah,
it's
until
over.
it ends.
It's over.
No, you don't get hurt by Rough Skin. Actually, what other ability does Garchomp have? Oh, Sand Veil.
Sand Veil, yeah. Oh, that wouldn't really help Dominick here. Unless the Stack Attack had carried Sandstorm. I don't even know if it does, but it's the only one I could think that might. Oh, and there's the feint just to make sure it goes down this turn. Yeah,
it's definitely not Rough Skin.
No Rough Skin. Okay.
We know for sure it's not.
Okay.
All right. So I mean, there's match 2. Yeah.
There it is. And Patrick's gonna take the match and the game.
Oh, Anthony definitely did it. No. Oh. Oh, you're walking over him because he's on crutches right now. Okay, that's good of you. Hey guys. Yeah, we've had some trash talking over here in the corners of whatever's been happening over there. Yeah, so that was round 5. That gave me a lot of life.
Yeah, I bet it was the nachos. Nachos always give people
Nachos
life.
make me sleepy. 100%. So we'll see you guys for round 6 in just a little bit.
Final Swiss round.
Yeah, we're
exciting.
almost there. So that was fun.